Hi there, my name is Sam, and in this course I'll show you how to transform this Figma design into this responsive Shopify store, all in a matter of minutes and without code. We'll be using the free Figma to Shopify plugin created by Instant, which you can easily grab from the Figma community. Ready to dive in? If so, let's get started. You can copy any Figma design with our Figma to Shopify plugin and paste it into Instant. However, there's one best practice to keep in mind. You can copy an entire page, but it's better to divide your page into sections and copy each section into Instant. This will help a lot with keeping your project structured and ensuring everything is copied over correctly. So right here, we have a part of a page, or a section as we like to call it. So now let's copy this design. Step 1 is enabling layout grid within Figma, which we can do right here. This will allow you to paste your designs into the grid within Instant. So within Instant, we have different layout types. Let's take a closer look. We have the grid layout and we have the traditional column and row layout types. The grid is a modern layout type that functions the same way as Figma, a true freeform canvas. And by enabling layout grid within Figma, we essentially tell the plugin to paste this design into a grid layout type within Instant instead of a row and column layout. Step 2 is opening the Figma to Shopify plugin, which we can do right here under Actions and by going to Plugins and Widgets. For me, the Figma to Shopify plugin is already here. If that's not the case, simply search for it right here. Now let's activate the plugin, and what is left to do is simply selecting the design we want to copy and then clicking on Copy Design. And as you can see, all the layers are copied over and ready to be pasted within Instant. Now let's go back to Instant, and right here on a blank canvas, we can paste in our Figma design. And there we have it, our Figma design copied over perfectly to Instant. We have a few notifications right here, which is we're not using auto layout. Using Figma auto layout is a best practice. However, when you paste your designs into the grid, auto layout is not needed. As well, we have a missing font, but this is not an issue for now. And as you can see, everything can be moved around just as you would do within Figma. And that is the power of the grid. The next step is to connect our Shopify product data and add effects. To work with Shopify content, we have to connect this design to one of our Shopify products. And to do so, we first select the main layer, which is currently the case, as you can see right here from within the layer panel. And then we open Shopify content. Now we can select a source. This can be one of our Shopify collections or one of our Shopify products. In this case, I'm going to connect this part of the page to the Essence product. There we go. It's been connected. And as of right now, nothing has really changed except for the outline. Before, the outline was blue and now the outline is green, indicating that we're working with Shopify content. Since it's connected, let's do something with it. First of all, let's take a look at this image. This image has been copied over from Figma, so it's not yet connected to one of our products and not yet dynamic. Let's say in the future I change this image. We want this image to also automatically update. So for that reason, we're going to connect it to Shopify. And to do so, we go to the image and then we change the content from static to Shopify. And now we can choose one of our product images coming from Shopify. In this case, the featured image is the one I want. Next up, let's delete these reviews. These reviews are also copied over from Figma and they're not dynamic whatsoever. So let's delete it. And then within the insert panel under elements and Shopify, we can find a star rating element. So let's drag this in right here. And as you can see, it now dynamically displays the live product reviews we have collected for this product. It's currently connected to Judge Me. In this case, it's the third-party Shopify review app I'm working with, but you can connect this to many other review apps out of the box. Let's also add a destination to this button. The button is selected, and under interactions, we can add a click action. And to be specific, let's select the Go to Product click action, and then we can choose whether we want to open a new tab or not. In this case, no. Now we can add some effects, and in terms of effects, we can be as creative as we want, but in this course we stick to the basics. If you want to learn more about effects and animations, we have many resources about it. In this case, let's add a simple hover effect to this button. So whenever you hover over this button, I want the colors to invert. So the color of the button will become black, and the color of the text and icon will become this orange color. To do so, we select the button, go to interactions, and then we can add an effect, the mouse hover effect. Now let's change the fill color because that's the thing we want to change. And whenever someone hovers over the button, we want the fill color to become black. There we go. Now we select this text element and we add the same effect. Under effects, we add the mouse hover effect, and we change the color of the text from black to this orange color right here. I can select this orange color under styles. The reason for that is that I prepped this instant environment a little bit. So right here under brand styles, I've created a few color styles and text styles, which will enable me to work faster and more consistent. Now let's do the same thing for this icon. And as we can see, this is not really an icon. It's just an image that's been copied over from Figma to Instant with the plugin. To turn this into an actual icon, let's delete it. And under the insert panel and image, we can find icon. We drag this into the button. We change the width to 24 by 24. And then we can look for a plus icon. There we have it. We make the color black. There we go. It can be a bit smaller. 20 by 20 looks better. And now we do the same thing. We add a hover effect under effects, mouse hover. And whenever someone hovers over this button, I want the color to be this orange color. Now let's preview and see what the effect looks like. So as we hover over this button, all the colors invert, and that's exactly what we want. Next up, let's make this design responsive. The beauty of the grid is that all the elements will scale fluidly throughout the different viewports. And as we preview this build and make it larger and smaller, you can see that all the elements are scaling fluidly, ensuring that it looks good on all the different devices. The reason this is possible is because for the grid, the main layer, the row size is set to fit. What this means is that the dimensions of the grid cells will automatically adjust to fit the content on all the different viewports. The result is that in most cases, the only viewport that we have to adjust in order to make it look good on all the different viewports is the mobile viewport. So as we preview this again and head to the mobile viewport, you can see that this does not look very good. Luckily, making sure this does look good is very easy. So let's exit the preview mode, and now let's customize the mobile viewport. The first thing I want to do is add some inside spacing to the left and to the right, ensuring that none of the elements will go all the way to the outer edges of the canvas. The main row is selected, and under inside spacing and the left and right, let's add 20 pixels worth of inside spacing. And there we go. This image is a great image, but on the mobile viewport, there's not really any space for it. So I want to hide it. We do that by selecting the image, and on the right we can hide it for this viewport. Now let's customize it further. First of all, I want this headline to be at the top of the page, and obviously this is way too big. So let's change the size of this text to 78, and there we have it. Now let's make the grid a bit larger. 64 is about right. Then we grab this button and place it right here and make sure it fills up all the space that is available in terms of the width. There we go. We grab the image. We scale it down a little bit. I would say 34 looks about right. And we also make sure it fills up all the space that is available. Then we have this text element. Let's place it on top of the image right here. Also make sure it fills up all the space that is available. And then we move it down a little bit, which we can also do with the arrows on our keyboard. This looks about right. Last but not least, we have the star rating element. Let's place it underneath the text element. Scale it down a little bit. There we go. And this looks about right. Now let's preview, and as we scale this throughout the different mobile viewport sizes, this all looks very, very good. And there we have it. In a matter of minutes, we have made this design responsive, and now we're ready to publish to our Shopify store. As mentioned in the beginning of this course, this design is a part of a complete page. It's a section. So when we build out this page, we can publish this as a page to our Shopify store as well. But for now, let's turn this page layout into a section layout and publish this as a section to our Shopify store. To do so, we select the main layer, then we right click and click on Save as Section. And right now, this design has turned into a section layout. If we go to layouts, you can also see that we first had this page, and now under sections, we have this section right here. Before we publish this to our Shopify store, let's go into the settings of this section, give it a name. Let's call this Figma to Shopify. And then when we publish this to our Shopify store, we can easily find this section. So now let's click on Publish. The section has been published. Now let's customize our theme. Within the Shopify theme editor, we can insert a section on any of our existing pages. For example, on our homepage. Simply click on Add Section and then search for our section, which is Figma to Shopify. And there we have it. Click on it and it's added to your Shopify store. The effects are added and it's also nice and responsive, just as we have built it within Instant. And there we have it. That's how you can turn your Figma designs into a Shopify store in a matter of minutes, and all without code. And that's it for this course. So I hope by now you have a good understanding on how to utilize our Figma to Shopify plugin and incorporate it into your workflow. Thanks for watching and good luck.